Today I'm going to talk about the main domains of life on the earth, and those are prokaryotes and the eukaryotes. I will also show the similarities and the differences between the prokaryotes and the eukaryotes. So let's start our today's lecture. When we talk about the domains of the life on the earth, there are the two main domains that we encounter, and number one is if we talk from the common ancestors, then there are the two main domains of the life. Number one is the prokaryotes, and the number second is the eukaryotes. As the name indicates, pro means earlier, karyotes mean the nucleus, the domains of the life that don't carry the proper nuclear membrane bounded nucleus, and the eukaryotes, these are the organisms that have the true nucleus. U means true. If we further reveal the prokaryotes, in the prokaryotes, we see that this domain includes the bacteria, and the bacteria can be seen only with the microscope. So these are the small entities of the life. And if we see on the other extreme of the life, so these are the eukaryotes. These are the big animals, plants that can be seen with the naked eye, and they also include the microorganisms such as the fungi, algae, etc. So these are the main two domains of the life that exist on the earth. But scientists observe that there is the another type of the microorganisms that that are not included in the prokaryotes and the eukaryotes because they have the same extraordinary characteristics, like they can survive at the hot springs and the cold waters, even at the 100 degrees centigrade of the temperature on which the life is nearly impossible. So they put all these microorganisms into the another group, and that is called the Archaea. So Archaea is the group of microorganisms that love to survive in the harsh environments, just at the very high concentration of the salt, or the very high temperature, or the very low temperature. So we discussed so here first we discussed the Archaea, and we discussed some differences between the Archaea and the prokaryotes, and from the prokaryotes we pick the bacteria. So we will discuss the differences between two major domains of the life. When we talk about the cell type, both of them belongs to the prokaryotes. None of them have a true nucleus. If we talk about the cell wall, our Archaea don't have peptidoglycan, while the bacteria has the peptidoglycan. As we know, most of the antibiotics target peptidoglycan. So in case of the antibiotics, they are applicable or they are useful for the bacteria, and they are not useful for the archaea. Archaea. So similar is the membrane lipids. Here is the ether linked, and this is the ester link. This is basically the peptide bond. And if we talk about the first amino acid, bacteria has the formal methionine, and the archaea has the methionine. Similar is the DNA organization. Bacteria have a very simple circular organization, and other prokaryotes, and that is called the archaea. It has the circular with the histones, just like the eukaryotes. And the bacteria are known for their pathogenicity and the beneficial effects they put on us, while the archaea are known for the extreme environment. So these are the some differences between the archaea and the bacteria. So here we will drop the archaea, and we will go for the bacteria, or the for the prokaryotes and the eukaryotes. So these are the two major domains of the life that have the impact on our life, either in the beneficiary way or in the harmful way. So we will discuss about these domains of the life in the coming lectures. If we talk about the prokaryotes, their size is very small, and we have to use the microscope to visualize them. If we see under the microscope, so first we will see a cell membrane that encloses the cellular contents. The membrane around the fluid portion is called the cell membrane, and the cell membrane is enclosed by the another wall that is called the cell wall, and the cell wall is enclosed another wall, and that is called the capsule. So some bacteria have a solid capsule, and some bacteria have the slimy type of the capsule. And inner side, there is the chromosomes, or the DNA are scattered inside the cytoplasm. So there is the no nuclear membrane that contains the DNA. So this is simple structure of the prokaryotes. And similarly, for the eukaryotes, you can see with the naked eye, and if we observe the size of the cell, it is the very larger, and there is the cell membrane. The cell membrane is somewhat similar as that of the prokaryotes or the bacteria. And inside the cell membrane, there is the cytoplasm definitely, and there is the nucleus as well that contains the proper nuclear membrane and the genetic material or the DNA. So having all this, there are other portions like the mitochondria, and the mitochondria is is properly enclosed by a membrane, and similar there are the Golgi complexes. So if we compare these two type of the cells, we see that in the prokaryotes there is just there is the chamber on which the different cellular activities are going on as compared to the eukaryotes. In the eukaryotes, there is compartments, or there is the chambers for the different activities, metabolic activities. Like there is the mitochondria for the production of the energy. There is the nucleus that control all the activities of the life, and there is the Golgi complex that are involved in the synthesis of protein and in the folding of the protein and the transport of the proteins. While in case of the prokaryotes, there are the no compartments, and all the activities are going on inside the cytoplasm. If we compare these two major groups, we see that the membrane bound nucleus is present in the eukaryotes and absent in the prokaryotes. The size is the smallest. Eukaryotes the largest in size. We can see with the naked eye, like the human and the animals. Prokaryotes are the smallest in size, and these are the unicellular. So organelles are absent in the prokaryotes. These are the single chambered, and the eukaryotes chambers are present. Organelles are present. Cell wall is of peptidoglycan in the prokaryotes. Peptidoglycan is a chemical on which the antibiotics act. Most of the antibiotics act upon the peptidoglycan, and in the eukaryotes, cell wall is if present. For example, in the plants it is the simple, don't contain any peptidoglycan. Ribosomes are present in the both prokaryotes and eukaryotes, but in the prokaryotes the ribosomes are the smaller, 70s, as is the sedimentation unit, and in the eukaryotes this is the larger one, that's the 80s. DNA structure is in the prokaryotes, it is a circular single chromosome, while in the eukaryotes it is the linear, more than the one chromosomes, and they are bound with the proteins as well. So the examples are the bacteria and the archaea, while the eukaryotes have the examples of the plants, animals, and the fungi. So how we differentiate these two major groups of the life on the earth. So one is the smallest, other is the largest, and one is the simplest, and other one is the complex. One has the one big hall on which all the activities are going on without any nuclear membrane, and the other one has the compartments, or they have the membrane bound organelles and different organelles for the different activities. If we talk about the what are the similarities, the chemical reactions or the structures that are necessary for the life, they are present in the both these groups of in the both groups, prokaryotes and the eukaryotes. For example, cell membrane is the sign of life. It is present in the prokaryotes and the eukaryotes. Though the structure is a slight different. DNA is present in the both groups, prokaryotes and the eukaryotes, but the structure of the DNA is different. In the prokaryotes, DNA is scattered in the cytoplasm, and in the eukaryotes, it is bounded in the membrane. So the basic metabolic reaction like the glycolysis, etc., that are going on in the both the groups of organisms, about the both of these groups, but the site of the metabolism and the pathway of the metabolism is different. Ribosomes, though the difference of the size between the prokaryotes and the eukaryotes, but the ribosomes are present in both of these microorganisms, in both of this group of the organisms. Basically, here is the diagram. You can see prokaryotes are the simplest and the eukaryotes are the largest. In the prokaryotes, there is a large chamber and all the activities that are going on over there. Ribosomes are present over there, nuclear material is present over there, and it is enclosed by the cell wall, and then the capsule flagella may be present. While in case of the eukaryotic, there are the different chambers One chamber is the mitochondria for the energy production. One chamber is the nucleus that carry on that control all the activities going on in the cell, and this one chamber is present for the protein synthesis and for the folding and the transport of the protein. So these are the major. So these are some of the similarities and the differences between the eukaryotes and the prokaryotes. And then now onward, we will pick the bacteria from the prokaryotes and we will reveal the membrane structure and internal structures of the bacteria. Up till then, thank you very much. See you next time. Okay, Allah Hafiz.